In the early 2nd century AD, one of Rome's most powerful legions vanished from history. Not defeated in battle, not annihilated by enemies, its name simply stops appearing in the records. This is not a mystery. Mysteries assume someone is allowed to know the answer. This story assumes the opposite. They did not scream. They did not send messengers. They did not leave survivors arguing over versions of events. They vanished in the only way empires make things vanish. Quietly, administratively, legally. There are no poems about them. No stone reliefs. No arches pretending their absence meant sacrifice. Rome did not mourn them, and Rome mourned everything. Defeats, humiliations, even mistakes. Rome turned loss into policy, but the 9th Legion was not corrected. It was deleted, not destroyed, not defeated, not publicly disgraced, removed. And if you think erasure is gentler than violence, you already think the way Rome needed you to think. Why a legend could not disappear. A Roman legion was not 6,000 men. It was a system inside the system. It was payroll, supply chains, officers, records, land grants, and state liability, all documented. A legion had payroll offices, land entitlement records, veteran colonies, dependents, political leverage. Men aged out. Officers rotated. Governors changed. The legion remained. It was identity stabilized over time. You could slaughter a legion, but you could not lose one. Rome counted grain shipments more carefully than people, and legions consumed more grain than cities. So when records stop, that is not absence. That is permission revoked. How Rome treated failure and why this is different. Rome failed constantly, and Rome documented every failure. When 3 legions were annihilated in Germania, Augustus did not suppress it. He screamed their numbers in his sleep. Varus, give me back my legions. Rome recorded the disaster, publicized it, punished commanders, redrew borders, rewrote doctrine. Failure became infrastructure. Now understand this clearly. Rome never did that for the 9th. No mourning, no reforms, no emergency authority, just silence. Silence is not neutrality. Silence is containment. This matters because Rome never erased failure. It displayed it. The 9th Briton and the last admission, Legio Nona Hispana, was not disposable. It crossed the Rubicon with Caesar. It survived Gaul. It helped create the empire that later erased it. By the early 1st century AD, it was stationed in Britannia, not as exile, as control. Britain was Rome's unresolved problem, conquered on maps, hostile in practice, forests that broke formations, tribes that refused decisive battle, terrain that punished confidence. Rome did not send weak legions there. It sent reliable ones, and the 9th was one of them. The last undisputed record of the 9th places it in Britain around AD 108. After that, nothing. No transfer orders, no honors, no disgrace. Other legions continue appearing in records. The 9th alone falls out of existence. Historians called this a loss. It isn't. It's a cut. The comfortable lie you were taught. You were probably told this version. The 9th marched north, into hostile territory, into an ambush, and was annihilated by Britons. It feels right. Remote province, barbarian resistance, imperial arrogance punished. It lets Rome lose honorably, which is exactly why Rome would never accept it. Because Rome never hit annihilation. Annihilation justified retaliation. But Britain shows no retaliation. No sudden reinforcements, no emergency governors, no scorched earth campaigns. Administration continues smoothly. That is not how empires behave after catastrophe. The eagle, the stones, and the moment the story breaks. Every legion carried an eagle standard. Lose it, and Rome considered it spiritual dismemberment. Empires went to war to reclaim lost eagles. So ask the only question that matters. Where is the 9th Legion's eagle? Not captured, not recovered, not paraded, not remembered in shame. It does not exist in the record. Destroyed legions leave trophies. This one left nothing. And then archaeology broke the narrative. Inscriptions, dedications, fragments of presence, not in Britain, on the continent. evidence placing members of the Ninth Legion in Nijmegen, modern Netherlands. After AD 108, a dead legion does not receive pay, does not leave inscriptions, does not exist administratively, which means the Ninth survived Britain, and Rome did not want that survival explained. Why survival was more dangerous than defeat? Rome moved legions constantly, but never invisibly. Transfers were recorded, ceremonial, public. This one wasn't, which means the issue was not geography, it was trust. At this point, Rome was no longer dealing with enemies. Legions did not just fight wars, they chose emperors. They decided civil wars. They turned ideology into force. A disloyal legion was more dangerous than any enemy. Enemies attack from outside. Disloyal legions attack from inside the structure that pretends stability. This was not open mutiny. It was ideological fracture. A legion that hesitated when obedience was required, aligned incorrectly during political uncertainty, refused to perform loyalty theater. You cannot punish that publicly. Public punishment creates martyrs. So Rome chose the cleaner solution: dissolve the legion, reassign the men, strip the symbols, kill the number, not the soldiers, the identity. The cleanest kill in the pattern you recognize. Rome did not execute the Ninth Legion. Execution creates memory. Rome did something far more permanent. It removed the legion from history. No martyrdom, no grievance, no narrative, just a gap. The men lived, the legion did not, and the system continued uninterrupted. If you think this ended with Rome, you are mistaken. Modern institutions do the same thing. They don't destroy inconvenient units. They dissolve them, rename them, scatter personnel, erase archives, and tell you nothing happened. When records stop, that is not peace. That is power deciding you are no longer allowed to exist as a category. This is where you realize you are inside it. The Ninth Legion did not fall screaming in a forest. It disappeared behind desks, behind ink, behind silence, behind procedural language. Rome was not an empire of stone. It was an empire of records. And when the records end, you don't hear the decision, you don't see the order. You just notice one day that something that used to exist no longer officially does. And neither does the explanation. Ask yourself something uncomfortable. If this happened now, not to a legion, but to a department, a profession, a group, how would you know the difference between failure and erasure? Because empires do not announce disappearance. They file it and move on. This is the lost past. Stay here.